Booyah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. If you joined me on my streaming show last Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, you'll notice that we talked a little bit about Justin Trudeau's plans for what's going to happen to the Canadian economy, and we were referring to the current strike that's going on with CP Rail, CN Rail, and essentially it's chaos. What Justin Trudeau's talking about doing, and what I want to get into a little bit today, is what's going to be called the shortdemic. It is to short us of a food supply, natural or goods supplies, shorting them off in order to, I guess, essentially drive up dependency on the government. I mean, we've seen constant pushes from Justin Trudeau to completely destroy and overturn this country. Let's take a look at what we got here. Let's read this tweet coming out from Contrarian. It says, every 24 hours of the rail strike, it costs Canadians $1 billion. So we're already multiple $billion in debt as of this filming of this video. It says that's not all, and you will be shocked to hear the rest of the story. Let's take a listen to what's going on here, and we're going to do a little bit of a play-by-play with this video because I do agree with a lot of the takes in here as to why it's so critical and what we can expect to see coming up as this strike worsens.
What is going to break the camel's back? Absolutely catastrophic. I waited to make a video on this because I did not believe that the only two companies that ship 2/3 of all goods and 90% of all farming products would halt service at the very same time.
So, as he's about to state, this has never happened in Canadian history. 2/3 of Canada's goods as well as farming products. Farmers provide us with food. They provide wheat, they provide fruits and vegetables, beef, you name it. It's all about to come to a halt because the government wants to play ball.
This has never happened in Canadian history. This is catastrophic. There is no other way to ship Canadian goods across Canada. How could this have happened? Normally, the two train shipping companies negotiate their contract on different years so that if one of them goes on strike, the other one can continue to ship products so that we can all eat. But last year, the government gave a 1-year extension to their negotiations so that they could adhere to new regulations they've imposed on the industry. Who in the right mind is in charge of this colossal failure? It's like nobody is doing any type of math whatsoever. 1 + 1 = 2. And this is the simplest form of math. If you delay the contract by 1 year, oh, hello, they both expire at the same time. You do not need to be a rocket scientist to figure this one out. A 5-year-old could have literally predicted this. This is like a real-life train wreckage, literally speaking. The economic impacts of all this is catastrophic. You take that burning dumpster fire, send it to space, and let it come back and implode. Let's take a look at the economic impact. 50% of all cargo freight gets shipped internationally. 2/3 of all freight gets shipped through our country through rail. And that represents $380 billion per year. Yes, B. So that is over $1 billion per day. And guess what? 1 day closure is a full week to catch things back up. So a week shutdown is 2 months to catch back up. And a 2-week shutdown, we won't see us being caught back up for the remainder of this year.
That there is what's really scary about most of what's going on, and the reason that I wanted to talk about this, because everybody knows about the strike, everybody knows what's going on, but essentially what you're going to see is that if you need goods, even if you need appliances, electronics, if you need anything that gets shipped over rail, this is going to put a definite delay, we'll say, on the products that you need. You're going to see, if you think back to the pandemic when people were taking hand sanitizer and toilet paper, you're going to see a big problem as supply starts to run out the longer this goes on. When you look at, again, the negotiation of the contract to extend it a year, that it was going to end resulting in both companies being able to strike at the same time. This is catastrophic in the sense that it gives them all the cards at the table, and it also shows the incompetency of our Canadian government, that they don't think about these things, or they do think about these things and it's deliberate. That's something I'm going to leave open to you, the viewer, to discuss down in the comments. But what's really scary at this point is that once food is gone, once the farmers can't produce anymore, once grain stops showing up on trucks, once fuel starts drying up at gas stations because they can't transport it via rail, when the oil and bitumen that we refine in other parts of the world can't be shipped on tanker trucks, how, I should say, are we supposed to get by? How are we supposed to make ends meet? How is the average Canadian going to survive, even if they have the money to put food on the table, which again is going to drive the prices of food. It's going to drive the prices of everything. I mean, you see guys like Jagmeet Singh here. I'm going to go over to Jagmeet Singh and his bumbling, idiotic statements when he was talking about the cost of groceries. I mean, let's take a look here. Brian Lilly tweeting out, watches Jagmeet holds up a bag of apples and calls them potatoes. I mean, this is golden.
A sack of potatoes, one bag of potatoes, costs $9. A sack of potatoes, one bag of potatoes, costs $9.
So government workers don't only know how to negotiate train contracts, but they don't even know the difference between apples and potatoes. I mean, this is where we're headed, ladies and gentlemen. They don't care. They're not knowledgeable of what they're doing, and they're deliberately out to break and destroy Canada. If you're in a position to stock up, I would advise stocking up. I would advise getting anything that's non-perishable while you can, especially for as long as the strike continues. No matter how much the Liberals will say, well, we're legislating back to work or mandatory work to rule, it's not going to catch up with demand in terms of Canada. And you add that to the amount of immigrants coming into the country and the extended population that we're adding to Canada, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. This is worse in my mind. These kind of strikes, these kind of shutdowns are worse in my mind than the pandemic, because it is going to affect the common Canadian. Again, once food starts to dry up, you can't even begin to imagine how people are going to riot when they find out that their butter costs $12 a pound. Bread is, $30, $40 a loaf. It's going to happen if something doesn't get solved real quick. Let me know what happened or what you guys think. Sorry, down below in the comments. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Don't forget to join me live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show, where we talk about everything that's happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, and a bunch of back and forth within the community. I look forward to chatting with you guys each and every one of those streams, as well as my wife, Mrs. Fringe, who joins me on those streams, and we look forward to hearing what you guys have to say inside of those live streams. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.